yesterday, and the New York State Attorney General said people should not be discouraged by the long wait.
Bring a book, bring a friend, have a plan. Make sure your phone is charged. But please come out and vote. This is the most consequential election in recent history.
Officials say some voters waited in line for up to 8 hours. There have been record numbers for early voting across the country for this year's election. A NASA astronaut has cast her ballot for the upcoming election all the way from the International Space Station. NASA says Kate Rubens was able to submit her ballot electronically through a secure link sent from a county clerk's office in Texas. Rubens voted the same way in the 2016 election. A study for people wondering what to watch for Halloween to spark fear. A scientific answer. The 2012 movie Sinister, starring Ethan Hawke and Juliet Rylance, has been labeled the scariest horror movie ever. A study known as the Science of Scare Project had participants watch over 100 hours of scary movies. The 50 people at multiple ages had worn heart rate monitors while they watched the horror.
What? I didn't hear that. What movie?
Sinister apparently had the heart monitors beeping the most. The people behind the study said they did it so people wouldn't have to waste time looking for the scariest film to watch while staying home this Halloween. Rob Newton, KFI News. We have a crash in Studio City on the 101. This is on the 101.
The delay on your video sucks. How about that?
Across lanes, you're starting to see some delays right around Laurel Canyon. And in Montebello, we have a work zone. This is on the 60 eastbound from Finley to the 605. 3 right lanes going to be shut down until 5 in the morning. Your drive is bunching up as you approach. Eagle Rock, this is on the 134 eastbound at Figueroa. Cleanup crews from an earlier crash on the right shoulder there. Watch for some slow.
I did not.
KFI helps get you there faster.
Not. I'm in a feedback loop. Whoa. I barely have a delay.
You got your drops ready?
Roger.
Hi, I'm Steve, creator of Deluxe Life Coat. Unlike painters, we restore your home's exterior using our exclusive 12-step process. We water blast, repair every single crack and chip, and fix any wood rot till your house looks brand new. After we're done, you'll never have to paint your home again. That's why Deluxe Life Coat has the best lifetime warranty in the industry. It covers flaking.
Hey, this is library.
What paint can say that? The paint has
Yeah, and it'll end with, hey, this is library.
Style pound 250 and say
That's my little cue with Eric, the engineer, that whatever drops I play, it always ends with, hey, this is library.
2 years. Get in now. Dial pound 250 and say Life Coat.
Certain terms and conditions apply.
It's going to be cold as fuck at my house at 5 a.m. Apparently it's going to be like 26.
Tonight it's going to go until noon Tuesday. Tonight cloudy with lows in the 50s to around 60. Antelope Valley expected to get down to the mid-20s to mid-30s.
Yeah!
Sunny tomorrow with highs in the upper 60s to mid-70s. Tomorrow night mostly clear, lows in the mid-40s to lower 50s. It's 63 in Santa Monica, 60 in Encino, 64 in El Segundo, and 62 in Van Nuys. We lead local live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Danny Max.
He can't throw. He can't throw and he can't field.
But what can he do? Guys, check the reports. I'm going to point at you. He can get on base.
Oh, he walks a lot.
He gets on base a lot. Marco, do I care if it's a walk or a hit? Pete?
You do not.
I do not.
Hey, this is library.
Super Hyper Local Sunday with Brian.
That's the Kamala cackle from 60 Minutes tonight, by the way.
I am telling each and every one of you right now, this is the last new ownership press conference I will ever attend.
It looks like we're coming to a stop out here. The door is open. This guy is getting out of the vehicle. What? Oh, he's got a gun. He has got a gun. Yeah, this is not going to end very well.
That's why I'm voting for Eric Garcetti.
Super Hyper Local Sunday with Brian Suits on KFI.
Oh, man. My machine, big fan. Get used to this. It dropped, I don't know, about 30 minutes ago and 60 minutes out here on the West Coast. So there you go. Hey, it's Super Hyper Local Sunday. Everybody, brought to you by delicious sweet habanero Jack Links. Available in your honor system break room here at iHeartMedia. Ever had these, you guys? The sweet habanero. They're not a huge fan because there's a lot of sugar in them, but I got to say, Danny Max, I missed. What was the movie that's the most scary movie with Ethan Hawke? Sinister. Never heard of it. What year? Was it right before Goonies? Wasn't he in Goonies? Yeah, but he was older than Sinister. Oh, was it this girl? I'll have to look it up. I gotta say, if you're a fan of the accurate history, the show he's on right now on HBO, Good Lord Bird, is great. It is a short cable series adaptation of the novel The Good Lord Bird, which is about the crazy John Brown in pre-Civil War antebellum Kansas, when the fight to bring Kansas in as a slave state or not. And John Brown was legit crazy, and Ethan Hawke is a great John Brown. And I gotta say, as a history dork, it is great history. I can't see him as scary though, but I'll check it out. Ever seen the Nicole Kidman movie where they're in a house? She's in a house with her two kids, and there's ghosts in the house. It's about, yeah, but no spoilers. That's, yeah, The Others. That is a terrific. That's the last ghost movie I've seen where it was clever. And I went, "Oh, I liked it, even though it kind of reveals the thing about halfway through. Then now you're on their side. It was, yeah, The Others, you guys. The Others. That's a good ghost movie. I refuse to see Midsummer. Have you guys heard about that? That's where I got to say, The Others is along the lines of what's the Bruce Willis Sixth Sense, like that. For instance, Sixth Sense. Yeah, there's more, except for the girl vomiting in the tent. There's really not a lot of scare. Oh, you've never seen Sixth Sense? Oh, you should. That's really good. It's not, but that's the thing, is it's not scary. It's not pointless jump cut scary. It builds to a bit MOS, to a moment of S, where you go, whoa, all this, because that's how M. Night Shyamalan does his movies. And the problem with Sixth Sense is once you've seen it, and you know what, it's so good, you can see it again, even though you know the big reveal. And there's a very similar big reveal in The Others, but The Others is done very, very well. I'll have to check out Sinister. Though I'm not looking for scares. That's the thing. Yeah, I'd like a very specific kind of ghost movie. Oh, I thought that was okay. Yeah, yeah, that was filmed up there at Camano Island and Whidbey Island up there on the Puget Sound, don't you know? And yeah, because I know some people that were extras in that non-union, don't you know? Good for them. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. So anyway, not that I'm into them this time of year, but my daughter's just adamant. She wants to see Midsummer because everyone says it's the scariest, most goriest. And the thing is, I don't equate gore with fright. Pointless goriness, you get desensitized to it. So that's why I've never seen any of the Saw movies. I don't get what number 5 is doing that number 1 didn't do. What are they bringing to the table? I've never seen any of them. Danny Max, I assume that you're a Arizona Cardinals fan. Yeah, the Hawks are about to score on them again. So take that. How about that deal? How about them apples? Yeah, do you like apples? How about if I shove my thumbs? So anyway. There's well, someone thought it was funny. So anyway, we'll get to a bunch of things. Kamala Harris on 60 Minutes tonight with the question flat out: are you some kind of commie socialist? I guess I didn't know this. Nora O'Donnell on CBS is theoretically a Republican or something. Oh, gathered in. He's out of the three. So hey, when do the Dodgers play next, Eric? Oh, they're on. Oh, are they the Seahawks? Oh, well, that's why they're not on. By the way, I would downgrade you. You're not the Duke of Sports. You're more like a minor Earl because you had some bad takes today. We'll get into it when we do sports ball later on. And also USC in the news. I'm really confused. I thought if you're an NCAA athlete, you couldn't even be self-employed. Reselling sneakers and then applying for unemployment. Anyway, we'll get into a local kerfuffle involving, believe it or not, involving the USC football team. No, the tackle football team, as they head into Pac-12 action. Well, we have a couple of scurvy tales of the sea. One of them unfolding, and then folding in just a few short hours off the coast of England today. Scurvy pirates took over a oil tanker, not in the Indian Ocean, not off Djibouti, off Southampton, England today. British special forces stormed a Greek-operated oil tanker in the English Channel on Sunday to wrestle control of the vessel from 7 stowaways who had threatened the crew in a suspected hijacking. This happened in broad daylight. This is sort of the naval equivalent of the Iranian embassy siege from 1980. That's a Seahawk touchdown. Is what that is. Here's what happened. This oil tanker departs Lagos, Nigeria, with a full belly of Nigerian crude, and there were stowaways. There was like 9 or 10 stowaways in an unused cabin. And it's thought that someone in the crew took their money and said, I know where you can hide. We have about a 6-day journey from Nigeria to England to offload it at an English refinery. I'll let you out when we get to England. So apparently what happened early this morning is they get to England, they drop anchor, and they're just waiting. And these guys start beating on the door like, hey, ship's not moving. What's happening? Let us out, please. And so someone let them out, and they took over the boat. And the entire crew went to a panic room these days that commercial ships have called a bastion, and you can shut down the engine from there, and all this. And this is the counter pirate thing, which is way cheaper than anyway. So anyway, these guys go to the bastion. They alert police. The police alert the military. The government authorizes military intervention. And the Special Boat Service, which is the naval equivalent of the Special Air Service, basically knocked on the boat and said, see here, we're coming aboard and you're under arrest and all that. So it's all resolved. Another scurvy tale of high sea skullduggery. We'll take a break. You want a Halloween horror story, do you? You want a spooky ghost story? I'm holding it right here. A haunted ship story from this year, as if, and in the year 2020, a haunted ship story is sort of meh. That ain't no murder hornets. Back right after this. It is Super Hyper Local Sunday. Brian Suits here till 10, KFI M640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Cardinals fan Danny Max with the news now.
Unfortunately, Armenia and Azerbaijan have announced a third attempt to establish a ceasefire that'll begin tomorrow. Conflict is
Two things. One, this is funny as shit.
Los Angeles. And tomorrow, the U.S. Senate will hold a
Who is that?
Iron Sheik.
I don't get the deal.
The Iron Sheik was the old.
Oh, he just died.
No, he's still alive.
I thought he died this year.
No.
Who was the wrestler that died?
There's a lot of them that died.
Oh, he had COVID. Why was he in the news a little while ago?
No, he was fine. It's just the Iron Sheik. He's just a funny guy on Twitter. It's a go fuck your selfie.
You want to stay safe and healthy, which is why
Everything he says is basically his tagline is "Go fuck yourself." So this is a "Go fuck your selfie."
You'll never need bottled water again because you'll have clean, delicious water at every faucet in your
Aubrey O'Day, I don't know if you heard about the shit that she said about the Trump kids.
of any kind.
No.
Just install it, forget about it. drink it, cook with it.
Who is she?
All
She is.
Let's establish that
she's
first.
a singer who allegedly had an affair with Trump Jr.
Is she hot?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
God, those. I'm streaming, by the way, so we have to watch some of the things we say.
Yeah. Also, there's another one. Yeah, we gotta look into that one for sure. And there was a Trump supporter that pulled a gun on a protester who poured some kind of liquid on him.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Did you see did you hear the audio from it?
This is the woman going, I want your name, I want your name. Yeah, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? The guy legit had his gun out on unarmed people. He was a fucking idiot because he's on video. But this woman threw liquid on him, which is an assault. He's magic at that. I can't believe they didn't call it a touchdown because I thought in real time it was pretty obvious. And the tying runs are on base for the Rays. No. Oh, there you go. Well, someone's going to score. Oh, he holds them up. The Doyers are up 4-2. But more importantly, the Seahawks are up 34-24 at Arizona with 6:44 to go. And KFI's Danny Max is from Phoenix, so I have to mock him relentlessly. It's going to be cold AF at my house at 6 a.m. Here, I'll give you a better. See, there's the Seahawks, and there's the Doyers. There, how about that? Yeah, that's the good part. Is I got, if you've ever seen those altitude simulation masks, they're pretty expensive if you go to Dick's or whatever. But there's one at Walmart for only like $14, and you can set it. You can set the altitude. 'Cause what it does is it impedes the alcohol. It impedes the air that you have to work harder to breathe, right? So it starts at 4,000. You can click it up to 12,000. Well, I wake up at like 3,000 feet, 3,500 feet or so. And so what I do, a real simple ritual that I have with my dogs is I put on a 40-pound weighted pack, and I walk about 2 miles with the mask on before the sun comes up, and that affords me the right to eat whatever the fuck I want. But I don't eat sugar and pasta and all that. I saw a really good recipe for gnocchi for skillet browned gnocchi. It's totally, I swear, it's totally like Mop 4 PT, or at least Mop Alpha with just the mask. That's what we used to do. How much time? 2:45. I have to find a bumper. But they're neat. The other thing about them is if you're just sitting around the house and on the computer or whatever, then I turn it up to 12,000 feet, and I'm doing something to burn energy. As I'm doing shit on the computer. The recipe popped up on my Twitter feed. I don't know where it came from, but pretty easy. You boil the gnocchi in water and salt, and then you brown it in butter. Then you add You add some white wine. I'm sorry, you take the gnocchi out, diced onions, diced garlic, saute those, then add whole cherry tomatoes, and then add some tomato sauce, and then a bunch of mozzarella. Then you mix in the gnocchi with some Parmesan. Then you oven bake it for 10 minutes at 400 degrees. It looked great, but I don't eat pasta.
Step 2 is a water purity system to eliminate chemicals, dissolve fertilizers, and pharmaceuticals from your water.
So I do love the gnocchi. I'd gladly make it for somebody. I might make it for my daughter tomorrow.
System is stocked with release. Step 5 is a tankless water heater for endless hot water or a 5-star tank water heater guaranteed. Step 6 is a new high-tech ghetto AC system.
This story is so gross. A couple of years ago in like Milwaukee, they found a bulk like tank train car, liquid train car, and it was empty. And they opened it up, and there was like 20 illegal aliens, men in there. They had been in there dead for months, and they liquefied. And it was just gross. This is kind of like that. True story. Google that. I think it was North Dakota or Milwaukee, something like that. This is space. You and me versus the world. KFI AM 640. It is the Halloween version of Super Hyper Local Sunday. Brian sits here. Not really, I guess, because Halloween is Saturday night, so it'll be past. So anyway, here's this story. But if you want to tell a ghost story, I have one for you. Breaking news out of Paraguay. You know, they're at the Montevideo, the capital of Paraguay. They're at the delta of the River Plate. Headline: Paraguay finds 7 bodies in container shipment from Serbia. There was a time when the Serbs exported quite a body count, but not lately. The decomposed remains of 7 people believed to be undocumented migrants have been discovered in a fertilizer container in Paraguay. How'd they get there? It set off from Serbia on the 21st of July. The container had traveled through Croatia, thought to be the migrants' planned destination, before going through Egypt, Spain, and all the way across the Atlantic down to Argentina, and back up north to Paraguay. It's now October. In fact, it's late October. So they were locked in there on the 21st of July. It's now late October. The discovery was made by employees of an agricultural company in Paraguay's capital. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. That's not Uruguay. Uruguay is Montevideo. This is Paraguay. This is landlocked Paraguay. The capital is Asuncion. Asphyxiation was the likely cause of death, Dr. Lemire said, adding that all the victims are believed to be male adults. The fertilizer could have led to a faster process of decomposition, he added. A Serbian taxi receipt and telephone card were discovered in the container, along with food. We assumed that they arrived there from their country of origin and had planned to travel to a nearer destination, but they did not calculate the distance well and did not survive the trip. Prosecutor Marcelo Saldivar told Reuters their supply of biscuits, bottled water, and tinned food was enough to last 72 hours. All the bodies are decomposed. They are just hair and bones. Efforts are now underway to try to identify the victims. That, if you need a Halloween story for spooky time with the kids, just go find this at BBC. And also, I saw another story. There was uneaten food in the container. So it's not a case of them running out of food and then the biggest of the 7 one by one, killing the other six and eating them or something. He probably would have survived. It was a case of them, I guess, asphyxiating before they starved. Who wouldn't think to maybe drill a hole in the Connex? But anyway, there's your spooky story from the world of the high seas. So the news is a female LA County deputy assaulted is doing okay. A Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy was taken to a hospital after being dragged by a suspect's vehicle during a traffic stop in Westmont early Sunday morning. The deputy stopped a vehicle for a traffic violation around 2 a.m. In the area of doesn't matter, right? And Vermont Avenue. During the encounter with the suspect, the deputy was dragged by the suspect vehicle. It's unclear how the deputy ended up being dragged and for how long. The short pursuit ensued, and the suspect, described only as being female, was taken into custody near Florence and Western Avenues. The deputy was transported by ambulance to a hospital and later released. So it's you have to ask, would a male have done that? I mean, honestly, you gotta ask. Here is a little bit of ABC7 on that.
We've had updates all morning from the Sheriff's Department, and we can tell you that paramedics brought that Sheriff's deputy right here to Harbor UCLA Medical Center. We can tell you this morning that she is going to be okay, and that deputy does not have life-threatening injuries. This incident took place in South LA overnight. The LA County Sheriff's Department says a female deputy pulled a suspect over when the suspect assaulted her near 97th and Vermont. The suspect took off near Florence and Western. Sheriff's deputies did eventually arrest the suspect. We're still waiting for some details to be confirmed. We're not sure how the deputy was assaulted, but again, the deputy...
She was dragged. That's what it was. But anyway, that's a philosophical question. Would a male driver drag a female deputy like that? Male cops get dragged all the time. Apparently, it's open season on male cops. Male driver, they'll drag a male cop. But anyway, there is that, and apparently, according to KTLA, she was later released. Sheriff's Department officials said she suffered scrapes and bruises. Still, by the way, if you're wondering, that's assault with a deadly weapon. That's assault on a peace officer. It's not a case of, no, I'm just going to go. No, I'll just be leaving. Thank you. Because, you can be dragged under the vehicle. So anyway, again, to reiterate, these guys got in a container in July. They were locked in. They were found 2 days ago in South America. They got in a container in Serbia. They intended apparently just to go next door to Croatia and live the good life or something. Their plan didn't work out. Someone wasn't there to open it. They get on a ship. They're on the ocean. I just can't. That's like a haunted house. That's a horror movie. Just a single take. No, it wouldn't be. But that's a horror movie. Those 7 guys in a container, and the moment they realize it's not a 24-hour journey, and then they let us out, somebody effed up, and we can't get out of there. So remember, don't get in a container without a hacksaw or a sawzall or something like that, or a Brody-handled whole hog at the minimum. When we come back, shooting in Santa Paula, some more Southern California stuff, and what did happen with rapper Cardi B and her man Offset in Beverly Hills. Confusion, a Trump rally. It all came together. Back right after this. It is Super Hyper Local Sunday. Brian Suits in here till 10. KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Danny Max for the news.
Armenia and Azerbaijan have announced a third attempt to establish a ceasefire in their conflict. The temporary truce is expected to begin tomorrow. The countries have been fighting since September, and hundreds of people have been killed. The past 2 ceasefires have fallen apart within days. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the U.S.
Yeah, that's a fairly known story that the Nevada and the Utah and the Arizona had tapping from the inside, but they didn't have the equipment to weld to get through there. And yeah, guys asphyxiated or whatever. The dead in the Arizona remain in the Arizona. They were never exhumed. They just built the Arizona memorial over the stern.
By Democratic leaders who say Republicans are rushing the process for the November election. The White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, says it will be hard to contain the COVID-19 pandemic because it's a contagious virus like the flu.
We're not going to control the pandemic. We are going to
Dennis in Iowa. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. These. Yeah, it's a gross story. If you can find a link, put it in the chat.
This is on the 60 eastbound from Findlay to the 605. Caltrans going to be taking away the 3 right lanes until 5 in the morning. Watch for some stop and go traffic from Atlantic and in Boyle Heights. This is on the 5 south.
Yeah. Oh, you mean in the Arizona?
From an earlier crash, taking up the right lane there. You're driving stop and go 4th Street.
Fuck! The Cardinals scored.
You got the video of the Cardi B stuff, right?
Wait, where would it be?
TMZ. It's he Instagrammed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it arable?
I don't know. Let's find out. Let me check it.
I'll hold off on that story. What?
I don't think it's arable.
Yeah, of course not.
A lot of MFers and N-words.
He worked 14 hours to get us back up and running.
Okay, but what about that miracle?
The repair took place in a tight crawl space, which required Josh to work on his belly and play contortionist much of the time, says Anthony. He completed the job.
Yeah.
Every question.
You mean the solvent filter? Yeah, or fuel filter. Yeah. Yeah, it's
They're always professional.
it is an excellent solvent filter. It easily outperforms the AAC M4 1000 that I have in 5.56. But then again, I only fire 300 blackout subsonic. So, you know, help me help you. Fire if you're gonna fire a weapon with a fuel solvent trap. Fire subsonic ammo. Far fewer questions. So again, I have a gun trust in the state of Washington through attorney Dennis Brislon. He does this for a living. And so my guns are owned by a trust. And my legally owned suppressors are owned by the trust.
Looking for safe and fun ideas to celebrate Halloween this year? How about some films full of fright and stay in with the fam for a spooky
I
movie
have my
night? Did you know that
clients
your
give me
costume
feedback
can
for
still
the
bring the screams through a screen? Dress up the whole family and hold an online contest for the win. And why not
Daily Mail has a clean one.
Oh, right. I'll play the Kamala stuff here and then I'll.
Okay, we'll do that one next time.
Visit covid19.ca.gov. This message was brought to you by the Center.
1 minute.
Let's face it, painting your house is
Yeah, in a state like Washington, where you can not only possess a suppressor, but attach it to your weapon, it really is the only way to go as a gun trust. And especially if you move somewhere like California, then the gun trust owns the weapons, and you can rent them to a movie company. You know, it's a business expense or something. So I've got friends in the business, and I'll give them an invoice for $1 a day, and that's how I can justify weapons from the gun trust in the state of California legally.
Get in now. Dial #250 and say life code. Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 1052855.
For official rules and more information about contests on this station, go to KFIAM640.com/rules.
This Halloween, go as the world. That's scary. KFI AM 640.
More stimulating time.
KFI AM 640. It is Super Hyper Local Sunday. Brian Suits in here until 10 with now that we're done with the international piracy section that the show is known far and wide for, and the disgusting Halloween tie-in, we can get California. By the way, if you haven't seen it, it's you haven't heard it. We've been talking about it here on KFI. High wind warning overnight. Some areas up to 80 miles an hour. And they're already shutting off power up north, PG&E. I had really high wind at my house today, and then it's supposed to get down into the 20s where I am around 6 a.m. tomorrow. So that's what a great time to have the power off. Because welcome everybody to Venezuela, where if the wind doesn't blow, you don't have electricity. And if the wind does blow, well, you don't have electricity because the infrastructure can't withstand wind. And this all comes from this is punishment. This is PG&E being punitive. That's all, whatever you want to say about SCE, about SoCal Edison or San Diego or Burbank Power and Light. So far, they're not being punitive. Up north, Pacific Gas and Electric, they killed a bunch of people in San Bruno with a gas explosion. The corporation was found guilty, so the corporation's on parole. And then they murdered 85 more people because of a bad transformer or whatever at 9 a.m. in Paradise, California, coming up on 2 years ago. So what's their mitigator? What's their fix on that? Well, punishing you for getting mad at them for murdering 85 people. And but don't ask why the transformer was 60 years old. Don't ask about the wires in your neighborhood. I see that where I am, there is wholesale 12-hour a day changing out of of a bunch of wires and stuff, and they're I don't know where the money's coming from. Well, yeah, I do. I once a month I know where the money's coming from, but. So anyway, they're going to shut your power down if the wind's blowing too hard because they don't know. Because you understand, if they don't shut your power down, they may have to go around and inspect their own equipment, which I know they're doing. So if you're a lineman, don't write an angry letter saying you'll never listen again. Because first of all, you're lying. You will continue listening. But you understand, from my perspective, we're granting you a legal monopoly. You are a government-sanctioned monopoly. And you're mad when you fail at your job. You're mad that we get mad when you fail at your job. And like it's as if you let the 6-year-old have the remote one night, and you said we've already seen this episode of Thomas the Tank Engine, and he said nope, we're going to watch it again. That's what's happening when you shut off power, and then you call it a public safety power shutoff, whatever, a PSP PSSS. Yeah, you know, I suppose so. There is the thing where you could just go to the oldest infrastructure hanging up there and start there, go from oldest to newest. But anyway, let's play Kamala. So 60 Minutes tonight, you know, their big deal was Trump walked out of the interview with Leslie Stahl, and then, you know, he mail chicken blocked her by posting his own video of it on Thursday or Friday. So you can watch the entire exchange. Anyway, they had that part on there. And they were very careful to not edit it or else they would be proving the point he was making. But that's the only reason they didn't. And then they talked to Pence and he was characteristically boring. And then they go to, and the Doyers have won Game 5. Doyers now leading 3-2 over the Tampa Bay Rays. The Doyers winning final score 4-2. Clayton Kershaw, the winning pitcher. He walked off with a 4-2 score. That's his W, everybody. He got shelled. It was for a little bit. He got a tie. He fought his way out of a tie. But anyway, the Doyers win Game 5. And here is the Minor Earl of sports. When is Game 6? That's tomorrow night, right? Oh, that's right. They got to travel. Yeah. Well, theoretically. Is this going to be a DH game, or is this going to be this is going to be notionally a National League Chavez Ravine game? So there won't be a DH, right? Oh, F. That's right. Well. Anyway, there you go. Doris winning. So anyway, Kamala Harris. Here's a little bit of her. This is Nora O'Donnell, rumored to be a Republican. This is a quick clip. This is only 28 seconds. The reason Kamala is silent for the final 10 seconds is that she's staring back at Nora O'Donnell because nobody in California has ever questioned her like this.
You're very different in the policies that you've supported in the past. You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage, but
Yeah. Well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator. You supported the Green New Deal. You supported Medicare for all. You're very different.
Ouch. So from as you hear after her signature uncomfortable cackle, which by the way is a nervous response, ask any psychologist. You'll hear complete silence from her.
Mike Pence on the debate stage, but
Yeah. Well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator. You supported the Green New Deal. You supported Medicare for all.
Nothing. Just staring back at her like, but I gave you an answer and my signature laugh. Why are you continuing to press the fact that I'm, according to GovTrack, and you heard GovTrack is nonpartisan. It's sort of like, the NRA is very partisan. We all know that, right? It's pro Second Amendment and the whole thing, and they have those grades. GovTrack, their brand is being neutral. And you understand, she out liberals Bernie Sanders, who was the first socialist mayor of Burlington, Vermont. She out liberals all of them. Anyway, you'll hear how she is not a Trojan horse when we come back here in just a minute, because that's what Trump says. That's what a lot of people have been saying. There's a couple different scenarios there, because why would Joe Biden go to a general election with a vice president one heartbeat away from a 79-year-old man who's that liberal, that socialist? If she was running on her own, and she did, as you'll recall, but you're pardoned for forgetting, because she dropped out before Iowa, because even amongst Midwest Democrats, she was too far left. So why is she on the ticket? No one's asking this, but anyway, Nora O'Donnell did. Good for her. Her answer may not surprise you if you live in California. Right after this, it's Super Hyper Local Sunday. Brian sits in here until 10. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Danny Max with the news.
The Dodgers have just taken a 3-2 lead against the Tampa Bay Rays in the World Series, winning tonight's game. Game 6 will be this Tuesday. You can catch the action on AM 570 LA Sports and the iHeartRadio app. And more than 100 voting centers have opened across LA County for early voting. High fire danger across the state due to the high winds. We have slowing on 60 next.
Contractor license 1047-781.
In 1996, John Scalinas walked on stage at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville to speak to 4,000 baseball coaches.
He was 78 years old and he was wearing home plate around his neck.
Scalinas said, "How many Little League coaches do we have in the room?"
Hundreds of hands went up.
"How wide is home plate in Little League?"
Someone shouted 17 inches.
"How wide is home plate in high school baseball?"
17 inches.
"College coaches, how wide is your home plate?"
17 inches.
"And how wide is home plate in the major leagues?"
The whole auditorium thundered 17 inches.
Then he asked, "When a pitcher can't get it across home plate, do we widen the plate for him?"
You know the answer to that one.
John Scalinas believes in doing things the right way, not the easy way.
Plumbers and AC techs who do things the easy way have to go to work somewhere else.
Ghetto hires only the elite, the masters of their craft.
We don't adjust the size of home plate.
The right way, not the easy way.
GOETTL.com.
Wind advisory in effect from 11 o'clock tonight until noon Tuesday. Sunny tomorrow with highs in the upper
Fuck!
60s to mid-70s.
Overtime, they tied it.
And tomorrow night we'll see clear, lows in the mid-40s to lower 50s. We have a work zone in Montebello.
The Cardinals tied it at 34 apiece, everybody. The Ducks are good.
Good news. Earlier crash on
The ducks are good. I've got a big drake and a little drake, and then I've got two females. So they will theoretically mate for life. And then Loco Boy. Last I heard, O'Boyle is out of the woods. Um, I never get on Facebook anymore. I just never do. Yeah. So for everyone who has no idea who O'Boyle is, he's a comrade from the Charlie Company, First Battalion, 161 Infantry in Iraq. He was our armorer, and a lot of health issues. Oh, we're not tormented by ground squirrels anymore. There's a type of trap called a squirrelinator, um, and it's a live capture trap. Within it's a big rectangle and it's only about that tall and it has two entrances and you just put food in the very middle and they get in. It's spring loaded. They can't get back out. It's a live capture trap, and then there's the trap door and you can just have the dogs play all day, do whatever you want. And the squirrelinator got rid of about 9 ground squirrels in about 2 days. One morning I went out there, there was 5 in the cage. I have a colony of kangaroo rats that I don't want to capture because they're pretty cool. But desert kangaroo rats are right at my front gate, and when I come home at night, I freeze them in the lights. I'll try to take a picture tonight. I also have burrowing owls. I've got barn owls. I've got two great barn owls, male and female, and uh, and then burrowing owls. And burrowing owls is crazy. They're smaller than a pigeon. They're tiny. Yeah, I might make a Nevada run for ammo. I just refuse to do a background check for ammunition in California.
The nose is your body's air filter, the first line of defense against airborne diseases. I'm Martin Hogan. I invented.
But we have guinea fowl now, and the guinea fowl are old enough to kill barn mice.
By flushing out allergens, mucus, dust, and germs, including dangerous infectious germs. So with all the world stuff, minute and a half, perfect time to join more than 1 million Americans who use Navage. It has over 30 online reviews.
I think, isn't there a place
Why? Because Navage is easy.
right at the border, right at the state line, just past Zizix? I thought there was.
Important. It works. Think about it. You wash your hands every day. Feel healthy. Online.
I don't think the Killers have ever made a bad song. That's what I think.
Navage. N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Asthma symptoms can attack anywhere, like on a city street. Now you can get fast relief anywhere with new improved Primatene Mist, the only FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. So whether you need relief on symptoms at the park or at your kitchen table, Primatene Mist starts working quickly, opening up your airways to restore free breathing. For temporary relief of mild symptoms of intermittent asthma, use Primatene Mist and breathe easy again. Available at CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens. Use as directed.
Do you think all vitamin C's are the same? They're not. Ester C is a superior form of vitamin C. It's the only vitamin C with 24-hour use, and it lasts up to 2 times longer than regular vitamin C. So don't just settle for any vitamin C. Buy Ester C and support your immune health today.
I gotta say, by the way gun accessories, rifle accessories are marked up in Southern California, Amazon's gonna kill them. I got a UTG 3-power magnifier for behind my fold over magnifier delivered to my mailbox for $79, and it's great quality. And same thing at the gun stores I go to. $110. So I'll wait a day, to save $40. KFIM 640. It is super hyper local Sunday. Brian sits in here until 10. All kinds of super hyper local stuff that we have to get to. A 1996 killing of a 17-year-old girl in Topanga Canyon has been solved. The answer coming up. All right, so Kamala Harris, 60 Minutes earlier tonight. They're in the 7 p.m. hour. So you heard the thing. Nora O'Donnell asking her, do you have a socialist agenda? What's going on? She did her uncomfortable laugh. Then she doesn't have an answer after that. All right, so this one's a little longer, and there's two of the extended uncomfortable laughs. And this is the part that people have said, wait till America gets a load of this, because she's done very well at not being on hard TV. Not that CBS is hard TV, but going on MSNBC, she'll be there all the time. But no one will point out, wow, that's an annoying cackle. That's like 9 Hillarys. That's 9 Hillary cackles. Anyway, here's the extended "Are you a commie?" line of questioning.
So are you going to bring the policies, those progressive policies that you supported as senator, into a Biden administration?
What I will do, and I promise you this, and this is what Joe wants me to do, this was part of our deal. I will always share with him my lived experience as it relates to any issue that we confront. And I promised Joe that I will give him that perspective and always be honest with him.
Here's me pausing. What does that have to do? What in the name of Zeus's butthole does that have to do with the question, are you going to bring a socialist agenda there with you? Then blah, 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 lived experience, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, now she gets to talk about her life story.
And is that a socialist or progressive perspective?
Mm-hmm.
No. No, it is the perspective of a woman who grew up a black child in America, who was also a prosecutor, who also has a mother who arrived here at the age of 19 from India, who also, likes hip hop. Like, what do you want to know?
Well, I want to give you.
Let's hear that entire thing all over. And by the way, I've maintained since she started speaking publicly, that we knew as Attorney General and all that, when you're exposed to her octave, it gets annoying really fast. And I don't know, does that make me a sexist bastard? There's a lot of men that, it's like sort of a Gilbert Gottfried thing. Gilbert Gottfried's entire shtick was that his voice is annoying. When you meet him out of character, he just speaks normally. But that's the thing he does. Some people like it, some people don't. This is Kamala speaking, and very uncomfortable that Nora O'Donnell, and here's Richard Grinnell, the U.S. ambassador to Germany. He tweeted earlier that she's not used to questioning like this because she's from the California political machine. And this is the Achilles heel of growing up in an echo chamber. Gavin couldn't do this. Gavin couldn't even survive Adam frickin' Carolla's podcast without sounding uncomfortable. That's why he doesn't do it anymore. That's why he won't come on this radio station, any show. His leg humpers say, just don't go on that show because John and Ken might run in and ask hard questions. Or Brian Suits might call you hairdo McGun grab. So Kamala has never been on KFI. So anyway, let's hear that. Okay, is that a communist socialist agenda?
And I promised Joe that I will give him that perspective and always be honest with him.
And is that a socialist or progressive perspective?
No. No, it is the perspective of a woman who grew up a black child in America, who was also a prosecutor, who also has a mother who arrived here at the age of 19 from India, who also, likes hip hop. Like, what do you want to know?
What happens to her voice? What is that deal? I mean, this, and by the way, when people say, she dismantled Pence because she was a prosecutor, folks, she tried a handful of cases as prosecutor. Prosecutors don't get asked questions, by the way. This is her having to answer questions. This is how she reacts when you ask her, is that a socialist or progressive agenda?
Woman who grew up a
Perspective?
Oh, wait, I have to get right to that. There we go. Because I have to get both uncomfortable laughs in there.
Socialist or progressive perspective?
no. No, it is the perspective of a woman who grew up a black child in America.
Like right here, what's
who
happening here?
was also a prosecutor, who also has a mother who arrived here at the age of 19 from India, who also, likes hip hop. Like, what do you want to know?
Well, I want to
Like, answer the freaking question. And by the way, what would she say to a witness on the stand that was answering her like that? But you can tell the discomfort that she feels in being asked these questions, being pressed on, because this never happens at the Sacramento Bee, and this never happens at the San Francisco Chronicle, and this sure as hell doesn't happen at the LA Times. Oh, and OC Register's on hold, but we won't take that call. But so that is somebody who is just flat out not used to hard questions. And to her, those are hard questions to her.
give you the opportunity to address this because at the Republican National Convention, President Trump made the case that Joe Biden is going to be nothing more than a Trojan horse for socialist policies, for the left wing of the Democratic Party. Are you going to push those policies when you're vice president of the United States?
Good question. How's Kamala going to answer that? Oh, I'm sorry, Kamala. How's Kamala going to answer that? Well, the answer may not surprise you. Again, if you're from California. We'll be back. Hour number 2. Yeah, a 1996 murder mystery has been solved. A shooting in Santa Paula. And what happened with Cardi B and Beverly Hills versus Trump demonstrators. We'll get to the bottom of all of it next hour. It is super hyper local Sunday. Brian Suits in here until 10. Again, Doyers going up 3-2, winning by a score of 4-2 over the Tampa Bay Rays. And more. Hour number 2 right after this. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
I've got a proposition for you. I propose that if idiots keep getting voted in, we'll keep talking about them.
Yeah, her dad was from Jamaica. And her dad, in his background, his ancestors owned slaves. So, and you're not, by the way, the national media, even though Willie Brown, formerly the most powerful man in California politics, former mayor of San Francisco, former Speaker of the Assembly of the state of California, openly brags about having an affair with her. But it gets zero play in national media. And you know why? It's because, well, it doesn't have anything to do with her governance or whatever. Oh, but Trump and Stormy Daniels does? So if you've, I mean, for me, part of my evolution to the point where now I'm going to vote for Trump has to do with how he was treated. If the American media had just been objective, there's lots of ammunition, lots of things they don't like Trump about, but they were finding bullshit, and then they were unable to give him credit where credit is down. I mean, due. That, by the way, as far as I know, I'm the one who came up with that scenario. Oh wait, I gotta see this. If the Seahawks find a way to fucking lose, fuck! Seahawks lose in overtime. Fuck! Oh no, there's a flag. You know, a game cannot end on a defensive or accepted offensive penalty. Oh, he has to kick it again. He has to prove it. As far as I know, I'm the one who came up with that scenario that the vice president-elect and the president-elect can resign, as long as they do it before the electors meet. So my nightmare scenario is that Kamala resigns, Hillary is named by Biden, the president-elect, as the new vice president-elect, and then Biden resigns and she becomes the president-elect. And I mean, if you think that's too far-fetched, so do I.
Vice President Godfrey?
Oh, yeah. And I'd like to announce Gilbert Gottfried as the new vice president. Who knew? He says, I'm going to quit. So anyway, that's a bar debate.
Were you able to find that audio?
Then the vice president-elect becomes the president-elect. If the P apparently,
Yes.
that's the Cliff Kingsbury boner of the night. What I'm watching here is that the Cardinals, the Cardinal made the game-winning field goal, but there's a flag because the Cardinals had called timeout. They called a timeout on their own kicker. Then he missed the re-kick. Wow. They dodgered it.
Did you find the Daily Mail audio?
No, I haven't even looked. Can you get it? I can't.
Yeah, I'll get it.
You know what's really funny about the murder hornets? They talk about the murder hornets, painful sting. Yeah. I'm going to play Shannon drops here. The tarantula hawk, which is all over Santa Clarita and around my house, they have like the second most painful sting on Earth.
We got the audio over there on his computer.
Oh, he can fire? Okay. Is it past the commercials and everything? But I'm going to play more of Kamala.
Yeah.
So
So whenever you want that, we can do it.
The world is your toilet. Yeah! What a sausage fest.
Hey, this is library.
Super hyper local Sunday with Brian Suits. We start with breaking news from Hollywood. People stabbed and shot.
I am telling each and every one of you right now, this is the last new ownership press conference I will ever attend.
It looks like we're coming to a stop out here. The door is open. This guy is getting out of the vehicle. What? Oh, he's got a gun. He has got a gun. Yeah, this is not going to end very well. That's why I'm voting for Eric Garcia. Super hyper local.
I'm playing the shit out of KFI M640. It is Super Hyper Local Sunday. Hour number 2. We'll get back to Kamala here in just a minute. And more stuff. I want this as a ringtone. So but I'm missing the better laugh that I've already played. So Kamala Harris on 60 Minutes earlier tonight, being asked the question, "Are you a progressive commie?" and the whole thing. If you're just joining us, as Danny Mac said, your Doyers winning 4-2 and now going up 3-2 on in the World Series. Next game is Tuesday night, and then there's another sporting event that I'm paying far too much attention to going on NBC. And so I have to catch back up to where we were about are you a Trojan horse? This is something that Trump said that hey, you have a 79-year-old man and then you have a young, whatever she's 50-year-old senator. He's nothing more than a Trojan horse. You're actually electing Kamala Harris because he doesn't intend to serve out his first term. He'll serve 2 years and a day, and then constitutionally he'll resign. She'll become president, but that won't be a full term. She'll serve out his term and then get reelected and all that. Anyway, let's pick this up again. Norah O'Donnell, 60 Minutes, rumored to be Republican leaning, so that's why she's like asking mean questions of Kamala Harris, like, "Are you a socialist Trojan horse?" But let's pick it back up with the other cackle. So this is it. Okay, she's going to ask her. Nobody on MSNBC has asked her this. No one on, certainly not anyone on CNN. No one has asked her to respond to what Trump said about this widespread belief, even amongst Democrats, who are hoping that this is the truth, that she is going to pop out of Joe Biden's belly when he resigns or after election and the president-elect resigns.
Definition of who I or anybody else is. And I think America has learned that would be a mistake.
Yes!
So just to button that up, because you have
Let me pause really quickly and say, woo, 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 woo. Okay, back to Kamala.
fought for Medicare for all. That's not something that Joe Biden supports.
There's not a flag.
If you become vice president, would you say to a President Biden, we should really be pushing for Medicare for all, not a public option. That's just not going to do it. It's not my value.
I would not have joined the ticket if I didn't support what Joe was proposing.
Serious voice. But I mean, that wasn't the question. The question is, what about this thing that you're a shadow vice president, or shadow president?
For Medicare for all, not a public option. That's just not going to do it. That's not my value.
I would not have joined the ticket if I didn't support what Joe was proposing. And so our plan includes expanding.
Which is not denying that she's a Trojan horse. I mean, that's the whole point of the scenario is that he would be president for 2 years and a day. And of course she would support him and the whole thing. And then just to remind you all before I play the rest of this, the nightmare scenario that I came up with that I don't buy. I'm just saying that constitutionally, this is possible that the president-elect and the vice president-elect can resign before the electors meet. And if her entire role is to shore up that very far left Democratic vote instead of them sitting home, that's one thing. But when the vote's done, if she resigns, then Joe Biden, president-elect, gets to name the new vice president-elect. And he chooses who? The albatross, the woman who swears to earlier today that she was robbed of the presidency in 2016. She should be the rightful president. Then he names her as vice president. Constitutionally, she can do it. And then you can have your Trojan horse scenario. Or for that matter, by the way, Joe Biden could resign as president-elect before the electors meet, before he's inaugurated. And then Hillary Clinton would become the president of the United States. It's constitutionally a very clear path. I'm just saying she didn't deny that that's her role as a Trojan horse.
On everything that Joe, together with President Obama, created with the Affordable Care Act. By contrast, you have Donald Trump, who's in court right now trying to get rid of a policy that brought healthcare to over 20 million people, including protecting people with pre-existing conditions.
That's a lie.
And he's doing it in the middle of a pandemic that has killed over 215,000 Americans.
What do you think is the biggest domestic issue America faces?
Right now, the biggest domestic.
And we went back to Joe. So anyway, I'm not sure exactly what. I think 60 Minutes is still like one of the most watched news shows, but that's not saying much. That's a very low bar. And now we're approaching over 50 million people have already voted, either in person or mailed it in. So all of this, if you were going to do a commercial featuring her laugh, you would have done that back
No.
back in August or July. I think it's too little, too late now. But anyway, that is my scenario, and you may have it right there. All right, so should we transition right now to Cardi B? Duke of Sports, who's really an Earl. Do you have that ready? After video service online showing rapper off, I'm sorry, I thought that was misspelled. Rapper Offset detained by officers, the Beverly Hills Police Department said Saturday night the artist was not arrested, but another man was at a pro-Trump rally. As a pro-Trump rally unfolded nearby. 20-year-old Marcelo Almanzar was arrested on suspicion of pointing a gun at a person near South Santa Monica and North Beverly. Officials said the person provided a license plate number which matched the description of the vehicle officers found Almanzar inside. So apparently they were driving Saturday night through, or was this Saturday night or afternoon? There was a pro-Trump rally happening in Beverly Hills, and I don't know if they were blocking traffic or not. If it's Beverly Hills, they weren't blocking traffic. I guarantee they weren't blocking traffic. But so anyway, which of our prominent rappers? And Offset is married, or he's a baby daddy with Cardib. Was she in the car at all? Well, you got a convoy. All right. So what is this? This is him. And okay. All right. So here's Beverly Hills Police in action. You want to? Let's do that. Let's take a break and we'll play it back. Or do you have it? Fuck, the Cardinals win. Yeah. How do you like to deal with that for $80,000 a year, Beverly Hills PD? All right. Well, he was not arrested, by the way. That's what cops deal with. That's what Beverly Hills cops deal with. Again, the cops are dealing with a call about a man brandishing a gun. That's all the cops know. They don't know that he's Offset from Amigos. Believe it or not, there are some people that didn't know he was Offset from Amigos. Kids, did you know that he's Offset from Amigos? Yeah! They did? Okay. Shannon, did you know?
What a sausage fest.
That's what I guessed, right? We'll be back in just a second. It is Super Hyper Local Sunday. For the record, Seahawks lost to the Cardinals. It was really stupid. KFI M640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Danny Max and his stupid Cardinals for the news now. How long is it? I think we got the flavor of it.
It's like 57 seconds.
Oh, right.
Officials have encouraged people to continue voting early, either by mail, drop box, or in person. In a work zone in
Hey everybody, it's Dean Sharp. Your home is your sanctuary, and if you're like me, that has never been truer than this year. You want to stay safe and healthy, which is why I want you to have safe and healthy water that you don't have to keep buying in bottles at the store. With a Life Source whole house water system, you'll never need bottled water again because you'll have clean, delicious water at every faucet in your house. No salt, no chlorine, no chloramines, and no filters to change or maintenance of any kind for years. Just install it, forget about it. Drink it, cook with it, bathe in it, all for less than buying bottled water. Life Source can preview your plumbing and install the system without entering your home. You buy direct from the Southern California factory. There are no dealers, no middleman. Everything is U.S. made. Call Life Source today for full service and full confidence in your water. Call them at 800-334-5009. That's 800-334-5009, or visit lifesourcewater.com. Life Source Water. Taste and feel the difference.
Wind advisory starting at 11 p.m. tonight until noon Tuesday. Sunny tomorrow with highs in the upper 60s to mid 70s. And northeast winds 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts to 45 miles an hour in Bell and the Hollywood Hills. Tomorrow night, mostly clear. And
Well, that sucked. The Seahawks lost.
6:05, Caltrans going to be taking away the 3 right lanes until 5 in the morning. Expect heavy delays from Atlantic.
All right. I missed some chat.
Lanes, but you're still seeing some slowing from this position. And in Brea, this is on 57 southbound at Lambert. Cleanup crews from an earlier crash taking up the right lane there. Watch for some slowing as you approach. This report is sponsored by iAccidentLawyer.com. KFI and the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Brian Vance.
iAccidentLawyer.com. Tired of the BS? We spent $500,000 of our money at risk. We sold $8 million for leg injured motorcyclists.
I mean, 5-1 is still really good, but God damn it, they shouldn't be losing to the Cardinals. Even down there, there's nobody in the crowd.
Oh, he was excellent. Did Sadie like him? Wag your tail and everything. What's it gonna take? He only wanted 2 things, and I gave him both of them. What were they? First, he wanted to know why we only charge $129 for an AC rejuvenation. Was he satisfied? Yeah, when I told him you just want people to like you, he started laughing and said, when you do all that work for just $129, people are definitely gonna like you. What else? He wanted to know if we really and truly do things the right way, not the easy way. What did you say? I just told him to walk out and ask the other AC technician.
Yeah, so Cardi B's cousin, Marcelo Almanzar, was arrested for waving a fucking gun, by the way. So, gotta hate Chris Collinsworth. And now his son's in the business. Like, what did he ever do?
These days, it's okay to do some things halfway, like wearing your pajama bottoms on a work call. But managing your prescriptions shouldn't be one of them. That's why CVS has a proprietary search tool to find ways that may help lower your prescription costs, and will deliver them for free. No wonder CVS customers are better than most at staying on prescriptions, which tends to make you healthier. Come in or call today and get a free prescription savings review at CVS. Savings vary. Not all patients eligible for savings. Delivery restrictions apply. Visit CVS.com for details.
I'm Dr. Andrea Russo, a cardiologist. Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right now. But if you're having an irregular heartbeat, pacing, pressure pain, shortness of
In Beverly Hills, it's not exactly the LBC. When they see a black person driving a $150,000 car with a total, 8 necklace drip, they know they're not dealing with a local crack dealer. So
There's an underdog story happening in America. In the moment they have the least, small businesses
I almost just spit on my water.
is making it
what's that?
I almost just spit on my water, what you just said.
and share today.
It's totally true.
Did you know you can take care of your DMV?
I mean, that's the thing about Beverly Hills PD. It's like the most professional PD in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Online through their new
You got 2.5 minutes.
experience, you can take care of almost all of your DMV needs, such as renewing your vehicle registration, driver's license, and more. Online from the safety of home, all while protecting yourself and others. Stay safe, stay home, do it online. Visit dmv.ca.gov to get started today. dmv.ca.gov.
I haven't played
2.09% APR. Real or fake news? Real. IntelliLoan offers a 2.09%
I haven't played Son of a Preacher Man for a while.
800-918-6200. That's 800-918-6200. Intel alone. Borrow smart. Rate subject to change. $300,000 loan amount, 60% LTV and 745 FICO score. Certain restrictions apply. Subject to credit approval. NMLS 3290. Loans made or arranged pursuant to a California Finance Limited license number 6036970. Equal housing lender.
I actually watched some of Adele. It's actually pretty funny. Have you ever heard Downtown by Petula Clark? That if you ever listen to Kevin and Bean on K-Rock, Petula Clark is Bean's aunt. His dad was a naval intelligence cryptologist guy at the London embassy, and he married an English woman. So that's why Bean was born in London. But yeah, I got to meet her once. Petula Clark, everybody. I should have gotten Downtown queued up.
Stater Brothers Market's family of brands. If you can't taste the difference, why pay the difference?
13 days of Halloween. One story a night, starting October 19th. Ending on Halloween. Produced in immersive 3D audio that you'll have to hear to believe. And starring Keegan-Michael Key as the caretaker. This, my friend, is Hawthorne Manor. I am its music. From iHeartRadio and Blumhouse Television, listen to Aaron Mankey's 13 Days of Halloween on the iHeartRadio.
What's his name from To Catch a Predator? Chris Hayes, or what's his name? Chris what? What do you bring the California coolers for? What's the guy's name from To Catch a Predator? Chris something. Chris Hansen. The problem is if I play too much of it on YouTube, YouTube blocks the video. So. Shut up. KFI AM 640. It is Super Hyper Local Sunday, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Well, because it's such a great song. It's a great song. And who would cut it off so rudely and tell Dusty Springfield to shut up? Well, she's in the way of a really good story. KFI M640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Super Hyper Local Sunday. And I'm trying to do my Chris Hansen voice, but you have to kind of go like this. Who are the wine coolers for? I can't do it. I used to have a Chris Hansen soundboard from To Catch a Predator. All I can say is, or Keith Morrison. God, I wish I could do Keith Morrison. Jose Luis Garcia thought he had it made in the shade. A Boyle Heights resident. Here's the story. 25 years after a Los Angeles girl was found slain, a suspect was arrested in Texas based on DNA evidence, California authorities said earlier this week. Jose Luis Garcia, 42, was arraigned this week on a charge of murder, said Lieutenant Hugo Renaga of the LA County Sheriff's Department Cold Case Unit. It was not immediately known if Garcia had an attorney to speak on his behalf. It is known whether I give an F, and I'm fresh out of Fs. Back to the story. Hey, can someone do the math? What's 42 minus 25? Isn't that like 16? 17? 17. The body of Gladys Arellano, also 17, was found in a ravine on the ocean side of Topanga Canyon near Malibu on January 30th, 1996, far from her east side home in Boyle Heights. She had been sexually assaulted, beaten, and strangled. Her niece and goddaughter, Samantha Moreno, told the press conference she had a beautiful soul. She was beautiful, intelligent, and gorgeous, and had a radiant smile. She had such big dreams for her life. A DNA profile developed from evidence taken from the body was put into state and federal databases, but no match was identified. Well, fast forward. to November 10th, 2019, and Jose Luis Garcia was arrested by Los Angeles police in a domestic assault case, and a DNA sample, by law, was taken during booking and put into the state database. The sample eventually matched Garcia to the Ariana slaying. Cold case detectives located and interviewed him in Fontana in neighboring San Bernardino County, and were able to take an oral swab, a squamous epithelial cell swab, to confirm the DNA match. By then, Garcia had relocated from California to Dallas, and U.S. Marshals arrested him there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Texas doesn't have an extradition treaty with California, says really stupid people. Anywho, he was extradited to California on October 14th, arraigned Monday in the Van Nuys Division of LA County Superior Court. He remained held on $1 million bail, but I'm sure he'll be kicked out tomorrow. There's no known relationship between Garcia and the victim. But so anyway, a cold case. And it was the criminal himself who brought himself to ground because he couldn't stop hurting women. So there you go. That is the way it works. By the way, for certain, I believe for every felony, I think, I mean, including like felony embezzlement, I believe the standard is taking a DNA swab at booking, and I don't know. I think they take a DNA swab for every arrest. Look, I'm not George Orwell or nothing. I'm just gonna say that I think that that's not a problem. I don't think that's an invasion of privacy. Just like your garbage on the sidewalk is not, you can't come out and yell at me for going through it and finding evidence. Hey, that's my garbage. Because the Supreme Court says you put it out there. I ain't been to law school, but I'll tell you, I bet the Supreme Court has ruled on this, and that, yeah, if you're under arrest, you can have a DNA sample taken. And there should be some incentive that the minute they take the DNA sample, you know the clock is ticking for whatever douchebaggery you did years before, and you think you're getting away with it, and just admit it right then and there, and save the DNA cost and the time and the whole thing. San Francisco Chronicle did a story in their Sunday edition today. There was a series of murders I'd never heard of in the Bay Area, probably because they were overshadowed by the so-called Zodiac Killer, who turned out to be Jerry Brown, some say. There was a guy north of San Francisco in Marin County. There's a beautiful park called Point Reyes. There's that little northern pointing peninsula. Beautiful park around there. There was a man who was going around shooting people. He was raping women, then shooting them. In one case, there was a young couple that were up there doing what young couples do, arguing about whether to go to Applebee's. And he kidnapped them both, had them at gunpoint. The girl said, he's gonna kill us, because he said, take your clothes off. And the guy said, don't hurt us. He begged for his life. And the girl said, he's going to kill us, no matter what you do or say. He shot the girl, shot the guy, but the guy ran away. And some other witnesses saw the guy. Anyway, they didn't catch him after that. They had a composite, the whole thing. They didn't catch him until like 1981, 82. And it was only because a woman had been creeped out by a guy years before, and she thought it might be him also. Anyway, I'd never heard of the murders. And it didn't even get a nickname, which is very un-California, because you've got the Night Stalker, you've got the Hillside Strangler, you've got the Zodiac Killer, you've got all these. And this guy, I didn't even warrant a nickname. I'd never heard of the case. 81, San Francisco. Back in a second, we will be back on Super Hyper Local Sunday. We'll hash out some local sports, everybody, and some more violence around the area. We'll give you the heads up on that. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Danny Max with the news. No. Yeah, go to sfgate.com and read the story about how that was solved.
Latest flu report, only 10 cases have been reported compared to 320 cases at the same point last year. Flu season started July 1st.
Should I do Downtown by Petula Clark?
Rates much higher than last year. And
By the way, I read Flightly Intruder when it came out in the 80s, and it validated my decision to be a Marine Corps aviator, which I never turned out to be. But I took a I took a pass at the movie with Willem Dafoe, and there's some corny bits, but I liked it.
a tough attack egg in Turkey has been taken out.
Gerald the turkey's been captured and released into the wild after terrorizing people in a rose garden in Oakland over the past 5 months. Wildlife officials say the turkey used to be fed by people, but once the pandemic hit, the feeding stopped, which was confusing to him, and the turkey turned aggressive. He was especially prone to attacking older women.
All right, we'll do the original version of Petula Clark, Downtown.
When we started Carvana, they told us that selling cars 100% online wouldn't work. But we went to work. Building. Lonely, you can always go. Linger on the sidewalk. Downtown, just listen to the music of the cars in the hurry, seems worries all.
Yeah, I subscribe to the Barney's Beanery philosophy that chili is the meat and the sauce. You add beans and rice to it, but chili is the base of that. And if you've never been, a real cool little treat in Burbank is Chili John's. On I want to say it's on Magnolia, but it's a 70-year-old restaurant, and it's got a big horseshoe bar in it, and Lockheed workers used to line up around the block, and they had an assembly line for chili, and it's great. It's terrific chili. You go in there and you tell them you want the sirloin chili, the hamburger chili, the chicken chili, and then you add black beans, red beans, rice. So you start with the chili, and it's great. Chili John's is what it's called. That. Yeah, I believe they make a chicken chili, a chicken breast chili. But the basic chili is so good. So like on a cold day, if you're going up I-5, going through Burbank, pop off Magnolia, go west, and find Chili John's, and it's just a really, really, really solid chili. But otherwise, go to Barney's Beanery with their new Burbank location. If you can't go to the Hollywood one, which is great. If you have friends from out of town, take them to Barney's Beanery. Take them to the Hollywood Grill or the place by Universal. But take them to that original Barney's Beanery down in Hollywood, because there's so much history there. What's that? But Chili John's here in Burbank is great.
Looking for safe and fun ideas to celebrate Halloween this year? How about some films full of fright? And stay in with the fam for a spooky movie night. Did you know that your costume can still bring the screams through a screen? Dress up the whole family and hold an online contest for the win. And why not swap trick-or-treating for a candy scavenger hunt? Trade the front door for the backyard and have lots of scary good fun. To learn how to keep your family safe, visit covid19.ca.gov. This message was brought to you by the Center at Sierra Health Foundation. If you don't know what to do when you get lost in a hike, stuff you should know, an incomplete compendium of really interesting things is here to help. And it also has an entire chapter on donuts. That's less useful if you're on a hike, but I mean, tell me that's not stuff you should know. Stuff you should know, an incomplete compendium of really interesting things. And stuffyoushouldknow.com. Wherever books are sold.
Hey, SoCal, do you or someone you know need help? Well,
KFI AM 640. It is super hyper local Sunday. Brian sits in here till 10, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. I had to time it just right so she didn't get that last town out. Well, you can all unlock the doors and open up your screen windows because they vacuumed up the murder hornets. Heavily protected crews in Washington state worked Saturday to destroy the first nest of so-called murder hornets. They always have to say that. Just call them murder hornets. The Washington State Agricultural Department had spent weeks searching into it. Anyway, they got a big shop vac with a filter, and they sucked them up alive. Not my first option. But anyway, an estimated 100 to 200 hornets. They're now going to cut the tree to get any larvae or any other babies in there to extract newborn hornets and learn if any queens have left the hive already. A news briefing was planned Monday on the status of the nest. So, wild stab. I'm not going to be surprised if national TV cuts live to Blaine, Washington, and to the briefing on the murder hornet nest. They wrapped the tree, a common Dutch elm, with cellophane first, and then they stuck a shop vac down there, and it yielded a giant tube of murder hornets. And they were saying that it's a very painful sting. And also, I didn't know this, but they spit a venom or something. Look, if you're freaked out by murder hornets, let me hip you to something that's right around here. And wait, Duke of Sports, you grew up around here, right? West Valley? Have you ever heard of a tarantula hawk? I'm blown away that people have never heard of those. Have you ever seen one? You can grab their legs and fly. They're that big. They're that big. First time I saw one, it was a black streak, and I was watering, and I just threw the hose up there, and it got wet and fell. And so I put a cup over it, and I just said to myself, what in the barreling F is that? And I took a picture of it, and I put a cinder block on the cup and wikied wasps and hornets of Southern California. And one of the first things that came out was the tarantula hawk, which has the charming life mission. And by the way, there's a guy on YouTube, I forgot his name, Jeff something or other. He goes around the world getting stung by stuff. He did one on tarantula hawks. That's all the guy does. He goes around getting stung by stuff. When he did tarantula hawks, apparently science has agreed it's the second most painful sting on the face of the earth. And the murder hornet's not number one. It's the spokesman for Murder Hornet said it's an honor just to be nominated. But the tarantula hawk is the second most deadly MFer or painful MFer in the world. Thank you. Good night. I know. And so the deal is, we could probably have a competition. Hey, quiet kids. The deal is the tarantula hawk. Murder hornets go find harmless honeybees and they bully them and kill the nest. Murder hornets go into tarantula holes and they fight the tarantula. No. Wait, what did I say? Yeah, tarantula hawks go into actual tarantula nests under the ground, and they sting the crap out of the tarantula. The tarantula tries to defend itself because it's a tarantula. You run from tarantulas, and they leap. Those freaking things can leap like 3 feet. But tarantula hawks go down into the tarantula nest to its home. They fight it, they stun it, and then they plant their eggs in its abdomen. But that's the thing. The tarantula hawk isn't dead. It's in a state of suspended animation. And the eggs are growing in the tarantula body. So you have that in Santa Clarita. That is right around you. We have it in the valley. You have it in Simi, Hollywood Hills. They're native to this area. First time I saw one, I just said, there is no way that's living around here. And I've never heard of it. But I mean, the aptly named tarantula hawk. So you can take all your murder hornets and they can consume a satchel of Richards about how badass they are. The tarantula hawk, one tarantula hawk will kill every one of them. And by the way, in Japan, there was I forget what it was. I think it was river monsters. He actually did a thing on murder hornets in Japan. The bees in Asia actually have a defense mechanism that when a murder hornet comes into a hive, they swarm on it and they overheat it and they kill it. It's sacrificing many brave drones, but they will kill murder hornets that way. But those are Chinese honeybees, which are the ones that are overtaking North America. So there may be a defense mechanism. But anyway, we have tarantula hawks around here. And don't even start me on the Mojave greens. Second most venomous snake on earth is the Mojave green. The most deadly snake is the Zambian spitting cobra. And I'm not making that up. But that's actual documentary footage. The Mojave green, which it goes from Gorman to Death Valley and all through the Antelope Valley. One of my dogs had a warning strike from one in the face. $2,000 later, she lived. That wasn't the point, but about the money. But it was hit and miss. We're in a charming part of the world where we have a wasp that will laugh at murder hornets, and you have a snake that laughs at everything in North America until you bring along a Zambian spitting cobra. So anyway, there's your local entomology there. That's study of insects, right? Entomology and herpetology, study of snakes. Speaking of snakes. Garcetti has a top aide who likes to harass people sexually. You've heard this story last week. There's some new stuff on that. And the man fatally shot during a struggle outside San Bernardino. I have that video up at Dark Secret Place, so you can check that out. And will bouncy third Armenian-Azerbaijan ceasefire off the wall and see if it's sticking. And we'll give you a rundown in sports. When we come back, I haven't even mentioned Have You Seen a Free Couch? There's a top-notch free couch up there right now. If you go to hashtag Have You Seen a Free Couch, my friend Robert put up a beautiful free couch in front of a really classy house too. So they're good people because nothing bad happens to rich people. We'll be back right after this. It is Super Hyper Local Sunday. Brian Suits in here one more time with the winner from Have You Seen a Free Couch, etc., etc. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Denny Max with the news.
The Dodgers have just taken a 3-2 lead against the Tampa Bay Rays in the World Series tonight. Tuesday, you can catch the action on AM 570, LA Sports, and on the iHeartRadio app. Mexican health officials now say their overall COVID-19 death toll is much higher than they originally thought, blaming a lack of testing and mishandled tests.
What a shocker that Mexican authorities underestimated the COVID-19 deaths.
California due to high winds. We have a crash in downtown LA when we come back.
Contractor license 1047781.
Your home is your castle.
Your refuge.
Your safe place. Quality of life begins at
Safety and security.
begins at home. Kettle Air Conditioning and Plumbing can increase your family's quality of life and their safety and security. You're only 7 steps away from fresh, clean, healthy air and pure, clean, healthy water. Step 1 is to get Sadie's Guard Dog protection for just $14.95 a month. Step 2 is a water purity system to eliminate chemicals, dissolve fertilizers, and pharmaceuticals from your water. Step 3 is an indoor air quality system to kill mold, germs, and viruses. Step 4 is a new antimicrobial duct system to stop duct leaks. Step 5 is a tankless water heater for endless hot water, or a 5-star tank water heater guaranteed not to flood. Step 6 is a new high-tech ghetto AC system. You might never need Step 7, but it's our magical water pipe and sewer pipe repair without digging up your yard. Ghetto. GOETTL. GOETTL.
Wind advisory goes into effect at 11 p.m.
You all know there's a secret cabal of all of us from Washington State University who are in the media in LA. Right. Like Veronica Miracle at ABC is part of the inside crew.
This is on the 10 eastbound at Santa Fe. Crash involving an overturned car. Taking up the 3 left lanes there. Emergency crews are on the scene.
I can't check the phone battery when I'm in full screen. I think we might be going the full 2 hours. Who knows?
Keep us asleep.
It senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you.
Yeah, so
I'll have more energy for yoga.
Yes, proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep.
Namaste.
Don't miss the
yeah, I promise you tomorrow there will be a Murder Hornet live presser. Somebody will cut into the live presser about murder hornets, even though we know that they already eradicated the nest.
Riverside and Huntington Beach Harley doesn't intend on paying or avoiding your sales tax. Sales tax is the amount of your discount on any pre-owned Harley at Riverside and Huntington.
Did you also mention that Dolph Lundgren was a chemical engineering master's degree at the Washington State University? Dolph is a kook.
Discounted by your sales tax. Now, Sunday at Riverside and Huntington Beach Harley. Riverside and Huntington Beach Harley. Cleanings, checkups, and cavities. Have Dr. Chang's dental practice at capacity.
Patient in room 1 is getting a root canal. The x-rays in room 2 are gonna have to wait. We're down to 1 hygienist.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do.
I actually need to check something on the phone, so let's call it a night, everybody. I'm covering for Talk Radio 1170 in Oklahoma on Tuesday and Wednesday, not tomorrow, because going home at getting home at 11:15 and turning around at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. That's no es bueno. So anyway, I'll do a live video about Armenia and Azerbaijan tomorrow, and also the British SBS liberating a hijacked tanker. So anyway, alrighty.